My fiancée cheated, rolled her eyes and said you're too insecure after posting flirty pics online. So I responded calmly, posted one thing of my own, and watched her friends panic as her perfect image began to crack quiet end. I, 31 male, work as a financial consultant for a mid-sized investment firm and make decent money. Around $140,000 a year. Not rich, but comfortable enough to own my condo downtown and drive a BMW I actually earned instead of leasing to look cool. My parents divorced when I was 15 because my dad was a cheating piece of work. So I learned early that actions matter more than words. Maybe that's why what happened with Madison hit me so hard. Madison and I had been together for 2 years, engaged for 6 months. She's 26, blonde, Instagram pretty, and has this way of making you feel like the most important guy in the room when she wants something, which, looking back, was pretty much always. She had these big blue eyes that could make you believe anything, and she knew exactly how to use them. The thing about Madison is she's never actually paid for anything in her life. Not kidding. When we started dating, I thought it was cute, old-fashioned, guy pays, takes care of his woman, all that traditional stuff my grandfather used to talk about. But it went deeper than dinner dates. Way deeper. Her rent. Just until my modeling career takes off, babe. I've got 3 castings next week. Her car payment, my dad usually covers it, but he's being weird about money lately. Something about teaching me responsibility. Groceries, gas, clothes, nights out, her gym membership, her phone bill. Everything flowed through my credit card like I was some kind of human ATM with unlimited funds. I'd ask about her contributions sometimes gently, because I didn't want to sound like a cheapskate. Maybe we could split the utilities this month, I'd suggest. She'd get this hurt look and say something like, I thought you wanted to take care of me. Don't you want me to focus on building my career instead of worrying about bills? And honestly, part of me did like taking care of her. There's something primal about being the provider, the protector. When we'd go out and she'd lean into me, looking gorgeous in the dress I'd bought her, introducing me as her successful fiancé, I felt 10 feet tall. She claimed to be a social media consultant, working with local businesses on their Instagram presence. Made perfect sense. She spent about 6 hours a day on her phone, carefully crafting posts, editing photos, engaging with followers. She had decent numbers too, around 15,000 when we met, which she was always trying to grow. It's all about the algorithm, she'd explain, showing me graphs and analytics I didn't really understand. She'd talk about her clients and campaigns constantly. The boutique downtown wants me to feature their new collection. That restaurant is paying me to post about their brunch menu. I'm consulting with a fitness influencer about her content strategy. It all sounded legitimate to someone who knew nothing about social media marketing. But here's what should have been a massive red flag. She never seemed to actually work. Like ever. No scheduled calls, no client meetings, no deadlines keeping her up late. She'd lounge around the apartment in yoga pants, scrolling through her phone, claiming it was research or engagement strategy. Tuesday night, I was making steak for dinner when she walked in and dropped her phone on the kitchen counter with that dramatic flair she does when she's about to start some drama. Her Chanel bag, which I'd bought her for our anniversary, hit the marble with an expensive thunk. "We need to talk," she said, not even acknowledging the food I was cooking or asking about my day. I kept seasoning the steaks, trying to keep the mood light. About what? Did something happen at work? Your behavior lately, the questions, the checking up on me, it's suffocating. She was already getting that edge in her voice, the one that meant this conversation wasn't going to end well. I turned around, setting down the pepper grinder. "What questions?" She rolled her eyes like I was the dumbest person alive. "Really? Yesterday you asked who took that gym photo last week. You wanted to know why I was at that restaurant when I said I was working. Before that, you questioned why I needed new headshots. Here's the thing. Madison had been posting these super professional-looking photos lately. Not regular selfies or mirror pics, but like magazine-quality shots. Gym photos with perfect lighting and angles that made her look like a fitness model. Restaurant pics that looked like they belonged in a food blogger's portfolio. Beach shots that belonged in a swimwear catalog. The kind of photos that take professional equipment, multiple takes, and serious skill to shoot. I asked because there's clearly a professional photographer taking these pictures. And you never mention working with one, I said, trying to keep my voice level. It just seems like a big expense for social media content. God, this is exactly what I mean. I have friends who help me, okay? Other influencers. We collaborate. We trade services. We help each other create content. She was getting more agitated, pacing around the kitchen island. You're being paranoid, and honestly, it's really unattractive. Successful men don't act insecure like this. That stung. The successful men line. She'd been using that one more lately, always with examples of what successful men do or don't do. Successful men drive Teslas. Hint, hint. Successful men don't question their girlfriends. Successful men take their women on vacation to Dubai. Successful men trust their partners completely. I'm not being insecure, Mad. I'm asking normal questions that any partner would ask. Is that what controlling boyfriends ask? She grabbed her phone and designer purse. You know what? I can't deal with this negative energy right now. I'm going to Emma's. Maybe being around someone who actually supports their friends will help me decompress. She stormed out, her heels clicking dramatically on the hardwood floor, leaving me with 2 perfectly seasoned steaks and a growing feeling that something was seriously wrong with this picture. An hour later, she posted an Instagram story from some upscale cocktail bar downtown. The kind of place where drinks cost $18 and you need reservations just to get a table. No Emma in sight, just her with what looked like a guy's arm in the background of the mirror selfie. Expensive watch, dress shirt sleeve, definitely male. She deleted it after a few minutes, but I screenshotted it. Call me paranoid, but when your girl lies about where she's going and posts evidence of it online, that's not insecurity talking. That's pattern recognition. Wednesday, she came home at 3 a.m., claiming she fell asleep at Emma's watching movies and lost track of time. You know how it is with girl talk, she said, stumbling slightly. We got deep into relationship stuff, and before we knew it, we were exhausted. Funny thing, Emma posted her own Instagram story around midnight showing her at home with her boyfriend, making tacos and watching Netflix. No Madison anywhere. No mention of having company, just a cozy night in for 2. Thursday, I decided to do some digging, not hire a private investigator or anything crazy, just basic internet detective work that any guy with a finance background can handle. When you know how to research companies and verify information, I deal with due diligence all day. Checking business registrations, verifying financial records, spotting inconsistencies in documentation. This was just applying those same skills to my personal life. Started with her social media consulting business. She always talked about her LLC, her business account, her professional website, her tax write-offs. It's so important to be legitimate, she'd say. The IRS is cracking down on influencers who don't report properly. She had business cards, a Gmail with her company name, even talked about quarterly tax payments. Problem is, there's no record of any business registered under her name in our state. I checked the Secretary of State database. Nothing. No tax ID, no business license, no LLC filing, no DBA registration. Her professional email was just a Gmail account she'd set up. The business cards could have been printed at Staples for $20. Then I reverse searched some of her recent photos using TinEye and Google Images. The gym photo she claimed Emma took while they were working out together. Same exact photo appeared on a stock photography site from 3 months ago titled Fitness Model Workout Motivation. The beach shots, she said, were from our weekend getaway. Also stock photos, watermarks carefully removed, but the metadata was still there if you knew how to look. But here's where it gets interesting. I found her photos being used on multiple dating profiles across different apps. Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, Seeking Arrangement, and some sugar daddy sites. Different names, Sophia, Isabella, Gabrielle, Samantha, but definitely her pictures. Same smile, same poses, sometimes even photos I recognized from our actual dates. The bios were all slightly different but followed similar themes. Entrepreneur looking for a generous gentleman. Social media consultant who appreciates the finer things. Independent woman seeking a successful man who knows how to treat a lady. I created fake profiles to see what she was up to. Chose photos of some generic handsome guy from a stock photo site. Made up backstories about being a successful businessman. The conversations were enlightening. On Seeking Arrangement, Isabella was looking for a generous gentleman who appreciates the finer things in life. Her bio mentioned loving expensive dinners, shopping trips, weekend getaways, and meaningful connections with successful men who understand quality. She had detailed conversations with multiple guys about arrangements, basically selling dates and companionship for money. The way she wrote was different from how she texted me, more sultry, more direct, more businesslike. I believe in traditional dynamics where a man takes care of a woman who makes him feel appreciated and desired. On the sugar daddy sites, she was more direct about pricing. $500 for dinner dates, $1,000 for weekend companionship. $2,000 for vacation travel, and we can discuss additional arrangements based on chemistry and connection. She had testimonials from previous arrangements about being discreet, professional, and unforgettable. But the worst part was Bumble. She wasn't just dating for money there. She was running full-scale relationship scams. I found conversations where she'd build emotional connections with guys over weeks, sharing fake stories about her life, creating intimacy and trust, then hitting them up for emergency money. Her dog needed surgery, her car broke down, and she couldn't get to work. Her mom was in the hospital and she needed to fly home immediately. Her apartment had a pipe burst, and she needed money for emergency repairs. Same stories, different guys, all perfectly designed to pull at heartstrings and open wallets. She was good at it too, really good. The messages were perfectly crafted to sound desperate but not too needy, vulnerable but not helpless. She'd apologize for asking, promise to pay back every penny, explain exactly why she couldn't ask family or friends. Pure manipulation, but so smooth you almost didn't see the strings. I screenshotted everything, every profile, every conversation, every lie. Then I started looking deeper. Her Instagram DMs were logged into her laptop. She always left it open. Never seemed worried about privacy around me. The messages told a whole story I'd been blind to, regular clients who paid her for social media consulting that was actually just dates disguised as business meetings. Group chats with other girls sharing client information and pricing strategies. Conversations about photo shoots that were clearly escorting arrangements. Messages about networking events that were sugar baby meetups. Discussions about which dating apps were most profitable. Tips for avoiding platform detection and staying under the radar. Strategies for managing multiple relationships without getting caught. She was running a full operation, multiple revenue streams, regular clients, a whole system with backup plans and contingencies. And I was the perfect cover. Successful boyfriend who paid her bills and provided legitimacy while she ran her side business. The money started making sense, her designer bags that cost more than most people's rent. The expensive skincare routine with products I'd never heard of, but apparently cost $200 per bottle. Always having cash for things, even though she wasn't working much lately. The casual way she'd spend $300 on lunch with friends or $500 on a single shopping trip. She wasn't working much at her fake consulting business because she was busy working a much more profitable one. I felt sick, not just because of the cheating, but because of how stupid I'd been. How many red flags I'd ignored because I loved her and wanted to believe her explanations. How many times I'd given her the benefit of the doubt when the evidence was right there. Friday night, Madison announced she had a client emergency and needed to work through the weekend at a social media intensive workshop. She'd be staying at the hotel where it was being held. Probably wouldn't be back until Monday. Which hotel? I asked, testing to see how elaborate this lie would get. The Renaissance downtown. Big conference, lots of networking. You know how these industry things are. They pack everything into a weekend and expect you to be available around the clock. She was already packing her weekend bag with outfits I'd never seen before. What's the conference called? Maybe I can look it up. Oh, it's invitation only, very exclusive. The Social Media Marketing Summit. Only about 50 consultants were selected. She didn't miss a beat. I'm actually really excited about the networking opportunities. I didn't bother telling her that I'd already Googled every possible variation of that conference name. Nothing existed. After she left, I called the Renaissance. No social media conferences that weekend. No events at all besides a wedding on Saturday. The concierge was very helpful. Even checked with event planning to make sure nothing was booked under different names. I spent the weekend putting together everything I'd found. Screenshots organized in folders by platform and date. Dating profiles downloaded and saved with full conversation histories. Financial records of all the money I'd given her over 2 years came to almost $47,000 in rent, car payments, credit card bills, and loans she never paid back. But I wanted more than just evidence. I wanted to understand the full scope of what she was doing. So, I created a fake profile as David, a 35-year-old investment banker with a convincing backstory, and matched with her on Seeking Arrangement. The conversation was eye-opening. Isabella.
Hey, handsome.
Love your profile. You seem like exactly the kind of successful man I connect with. That photo of you in the Porsche is incredible. David, thanks, gorgeous. You're absolutely stunning. Tell me about yourself. What do you do when you're not being beautiful? Isabella. I'm a social media entrepreneur, but I believe in traditional relationship dynamics. I love being taken care of by a strong man who appreciates having a beautiful woman on his arm. Life's too short not to enjoy the finer things. Don't you think, David? Absolutely. What kind of arrangement are you looking for, Isabella? I'm very selective. I only work with successful, generous men who understand that quality companionship is an investment. My standard rate for dinner dates is $800. Weekend companionship is $1,500, and travel arrangements start at $3,000. But honestly, it's not just about the money, it's about the connection and mutual appreciation. David, those are premium rates. What makes you worth it, Isabella? I'm a premium woman. I have references if you'd like to speak with previous arrangements. I'm discreet, professional, and I make sure my partners always feel appreciated and desired. I'm educated, well-traveled, and comfortable in any social situation. Whether you need someone for a business dinner or a weekend getaway, I promise you won't be disappointed. She sent photos I'd never seen before. Professional lingerie shots that look like they came from a magazine spread. Bathroom mirror selfies that were clearly taken in upscale hotel rooms. Even what looked like explicit content, though she was careful not to show too much on the platform. This wasn't amateur hour. She had a whole catalog organized by theme and style. David, I'm very interested. When are you available? Isabella, I have an opening this weekend. There's a beautiful resort about an hour outside the city, the Marriott Resort and Spa. We could have dinner at their 5-star restaurant, enjoy the spa, really get to know each other. I promise it would be an unforgettable experience. This was Sunday night. She was supposed to be at her social media conference, but was actively setting up paid dates with strangers. For the same weekend, she told me she'd be unavailable. I had everything I needed. Time to flip the script. Monday evening, Madison came home looking tired but satisfied, carrying a designer shopping bag from Nordstrom I didn't recognize. Her hair was perfectly styled and her makeup looked professionally done, like she'd just come from a photo shoot. "How was the conference, babe?" I asked, genuinely curious to see how far this lie would go. "Oh my God, so intense but really productive. I made some incredible connections." She showed me business cards from companies I later looked up. They didn't exist. The keynote speaker was this woman who built a 7-figure social media agency. So inspiring. Learned anything new about the industry? Tons of new strategies for client engagement, visual storytelling techniques. The landscape is changing so fast. What worked 6 months ago is completely outdated now. She was rattling off social media buzzwords like she'd memorized them from a blog post. Apparently, micro-influencers are going to be huge next year. That's great. Sounds like it was worth missing our weekend together. I paused. "Hey, can I show you something cool I found?" I opened my laptop and pulled up her seeking arrangement profile. The color drained from her face completely. "What? How did you—" "Isabella, right? Premium rates for premium companionship." I scrolled through our chat logs. "Or do you prefer Sophia from Bumble? Or maybe Gabrielle from Ashley Madison?" She sat down hard on the couch, her shopping bag falling to the floor. Designer clothes spilled out, things I'd never seen before and definitely hadn't paid for. "Nolan, I can explain." "Please do, because I've been trying to figure out how you afford designer bags and professional photo shoots on your social media consulting income. This clears things up perfectly. It's not what you think, it's exactly what I think. You've been running an escort service while I pay your bills and provide cover." I pulled up my phone and showed her the financial breakdown I'd prepared. "Want to see the numbers? $47,000 over 2 years. Rent, car payments, credit cards, loans you never intended to pay back." Her face went from pale to red. Not embarrassed red, angry red. "You went through my phone, my accounts. You spied on me like some kind of stalker. Who the heck do you think you are? Your fiancée who's been funding your prostitution business." Apparently it's not prostitution. The words came out like a hiss. It's companionship, high-end social arrangements. These men appreciate having a beautiful, intelligent woman. Sleeping with them for money. She slapped me. Actually slapped me across the face hard enough to leave a mark. "Don't you dare talk to me like that. I've never done anything sexual for money. I provide companionship, conversation, someone beautiful to be seen with." I showed her the explicit photos she'd sent David, along with the messages discussing additional services and full arrangements. Really? Because Isabella here seems pretty willing to discuss full-service arrangements for the right price. And these photos suggest your companionship involves a lot more than conversation. She stared at the screen and I watched her brain trying to figure out how to spin this. The silence stretched out uncomfortably long. You catfished me. You pretended to be someone else to trap me. That's sick. That's psychotic. I investigated my lying fiancée who's been scamming me for 2 years. That's called due diligence. I wasn't scamming you. I love you. You love my credit limit. She stood up, pacing now, her hands shaking with rage or fear or both. You know what? Fine. Yes, I've been seeing other men. Yes, they give me money. But it's because you don't make enough to give me the life I deserve. And there it was. The truth. She'd been dancing around it for months. The life you deserve. I'm beautiful. I'm smart. I have value. I deserve nice things. Expensive dinners at restaurants with Michelin stars. Vacations to places like the Maldives or Monaco. Designer clothes that actually fit properly. A Tesla, not some basic BMW that screams middle management. She was full-on ranting now, years of resentment pouring out. Other men see that. They appreciate me. They're willing to invest in me properly, by paying you for sex, by supporting my lifestyle, by understanding that beauty and companionship have value. She spun around to face me. God, you're so narrow-minded. Nolan, this is 2024. Women are monetizing their assets. It's called being entrepreneurial. I laughed. Actually laughed out loud, which made her even angrier. Entrepreneurial? Madison, you're a prostitute. An expensive one, but still a prostitute. She slapped me again, harder this time, leaving my cheeks stinging. Don't you ever call me that. I provide companionship to successful men who value me, who appreciate what I bring to their lives, while living off your boyfriend like a parasite. I'm done with this conversation. I'm done with you. She headed toward our bedroom. I'm packing my things. We're done. Good. But there's something else you should know before you start packing. She stopped in the doorway, turning back with a look of pure hatred. I sent screenshots of your profiles to your parents. Her face went white again. And your sister, and your college friends and Emma, who you've been lying to about where you spend your nights. I smiled. Oh, and I filed a comprehensive report with the IRS about your unreported income from online activities. Turns out sex work is still taxable, even when you call it consulting. She was shaking now, not with anger, with fear. You didn't. Tell me you didn't. I did. About an hour ago, actually. Should be an interesting Thanksgiving this year. Madison's phone started ringing immediately. First her mom, then her sister, then numbers I didn't recognize. She declined them all, but they kept calling back. You psychotic piece of work, she hissed. Do you have any idea what you've done? These people won't understand. They don't know anything about my life. They know now. They know exactly what their daughter and sister has been doing for money. She was crying now, but not sad crying. Frustrated, angry crying. The kind of crying that comes from pure rage. Those people live in their little suburban bubble. They'll never understand that this is a legitimate business, that I'm providing a service. Understand what? That their daughter is a prostitute. She threw her phone at me. I ducked and it hit the wall, screen shattering into a spiderweb of cracks. I hate you, she screamed. I hate you so freaking much. You've ruined everything. Her laptop was still open on the counter. I pulled up her email and started reading out loud. Hi, Daddy. Need to borrow $2,000 for new headshots for my modeling career. The photographer says these could really help me book bigger gigs. I looked at her. This was last week. Same day you made $1,500 from your arrangement with Robert. I kept scrolling through months of emails. Emergency car repair. Need $800. A SAP or I won't be able to get to my auditions. Rent is due and my client payments are delayed. Could really use $1,200 to cover it, just $500 to get through the month. I promise I'll pay you back when my modeling checks come in. Stop, she whispered. But I continued. Your own parents, Madison. You've been running escort services while simultaneously scamming your own family for thousands of dollars. How do you sleep at night? It's not escorting. What is it then? I shouted back. You have rates posted online. You have explicit photos. You discuss sexual services for money. What exactly do you call that? She collapsed onto the couch, sobbing now for real. The angry defiance was gone, replaced by what looked like genuine despair. You don't understand the pressure, she cried. Everyone expects me to be perfect, to look perfect, to have perfect things. Do you know how expensive it is to maintain this? She gestured at herself like she was some kind of art exhibit that required constant curation. The gym membership is $200 a month. Personal trainer, another $300. The skincare routine with all the serums and treatments is $400 monthly. Hair color and extensions every 6 weeks, $500. Nails every 2 weeks, $120. The clothes, the shoes, the purses that men expect to see. She was listing expenses like inventory. I can't just show up looking basic. These men expect quality. So get a real job. Doing what? I don't have skills. I never finished college. I'm not smart like you with numbers and business stuff. So, you decided to be a prostitute instead. Stop calling me that. What else should I call you? You literally sell your body for money. Her phone, the broken one, was buzzing on the floor. Text messages coming through despite the cracked screen. I picked it up and could make out enough to read them aloud. Madison, what the heck is this about? Call me immediately. Your father is having a heart attack over here. That's your mom. Are you kidding me right now? Is this some kind of joke? Please tell me someone hacked your accounts. Your sister. Please tell me this is some kind of sick prank. We raised you better than this. Your dad. Call us right now. This is completely unacceptable and we need to talk immediately. Also, your dad. She was sobbing harder now, the reality of what was happening finally hitting her. Please, Nolan, please don't do this to me. I'll stop everything. I'll delete all the accounts. Do what? Tell the truth. They'll disown me. They'll cut me off completely. I'll have nothing. Maybe they should. Maybe you need to learn what it's like to actually work for money instead of opening your legs for it. She looked up at me with pure hatred. You're going to regret this. I'll ruin you. I'll tell everyone you're abusive, that you forced me into this, that you made me do it. With what evidence? Your dating profiles, your escort ads, your client testimonials. I laughed. Good luck with that story. I'm sure the police will be really interested in your victim narrative. Her laptop chimed with a new email. I glanced at the screen and couldn't hide my smile. Oh, look. The IRS is already interested. That was fast. I turned the screen toward her. Says here they're opening a formal investigation into unreported income from online activities. Mentions seeking arrangement and several other platforms specifically. She stared at the email like it was a death sentence. How much do you think you owe in back taxes, Mad? 40 grand, 50, plus penalties and interest. I was almost enjoying this now. And that's just federal, state taxes, city taxes if applicable, business license violations for operating without proper registration. She couldn't speak. Just sat there crying and shaking. Oh, and the escort stuff, that's still illegal in most circumstances. Could be criminal charges depending on what services you actually provided. I closed the laptop. But, hey, at least you'll finally learn what it's like to have a real job. Orange jumpsuits are very slimming. She finally found her voice. What do you want from me? Want to make this go away? To fix this? She wiped her nose with the back of her hand. I'll stop. I'll delete everything. I'll get a real job. I'll pay you back every penny. Too late for that. Please, I'll do anything. I'll sign over my car to you. I'll give you all the jewelry you bought me, whatever you want, anything? She nodded desperately. Pack your stuff and get out of my house. Madison spent the next 3 hours packing while her phone exploded with calls and texts she wouldn't answer. Every few minutes she tried to negotiate with me like this was some kind of business deal she could still salvage. I can pay you back all of it, every penny over the next 2 years. With what money? Your escort earnings are about to be evidence in a federal investigation. My parents will help. They have money. They'll loan it to me to make this right. Your parents who just found out their daughter is a prostitute. The ones blowing up your phone right now. Good luck with that conversation. Please, Nolan, please. I made mistakes, but I love you. I really do love you. You love my bank account. There's a difference. She tried a different approach, sitting on the edge of the bed while folding clothes. Look, I know this looks bad, but most of these guys, we never actually, It really was just companionship most of the time. I saw the explicit photos, Madison. I read the messages about full service. Stop lying. Those photos were just marketing, and the messages were just to get them interested. I hardly ever actually went through with anything physical. Define hardly ever. She couldn't answer that. Around 11 p.m., she finished packing and stood in the doorway with 2 large suitcases, 3 shopping bags, and a garbage bag full of clothes and shoes. The pile of stuff was enormous. I'd never realized how much junk she'd accumulated on my dime. Where am I supposed to go? Not my problem. I don't have anywhere to go. My parents won't talk to me. My friends, She trailed off. Your friends probably already know what you are. Birds of a feather, right? She started crying again. Please just let me stay one more night. I'll figure something out tomorrow. No, I'll sleep on the couch. I won't bother you. I just need time to find a place. You should have thought about that before you decided to be a lying, cheating criminal. Please don't make me go to a hotel. I don't have money for... What happened to all that escort money? It's complicated. Most of it's already spent on what? Clothes, makeup, maintaining my appearance for work. It's a business expense. Madison, get out of my house. She dragged her stuff to the door, struggling with all the bags, then turned back one last time. This isn't over. I'll find a way to destroy you for this. I'll tell everyone what kind of person you really are. You already tried to destroy me for 2 years. I'm just returning the favor. She left and I locked the door behind her, then changed the locks the next morning just to be safe. Wednesday morning, I got a call from her mother. Nolan, this is Barbara, Madison's mom. I hope it's okay that I'm calling you directly. Hi, Mrs. Chen. It's fine. Is this real? What we saw online? What Madison has been doing? Unfortunately, yes. All of it. Long silence. I could hear her breathing, trying to compose herself. We had no idea. We thought she was building a legitimate social media business. She showed us contracts, client testimonials, business plans. All fake. She's been running escort services and dating scams while I paid her actual living expenses. Oh my God, I could hear her crying. We've been sending her money for months, thousands and thousands of dollars. Every time she called with an emergency or an opportunity. I know, I saw the emails. She was playing all of us. What should we do? How do we handle this? Cut her off completely. Don't give her another dime. And maybe talk to a lawyer about getting your money back. Though I doubt there's much left to recover. She's our daughter. She's a criminal, Mrs. Chen. She's been running illegal businesses, evading taxes, and scamming multiple people, including her own family. The IRS is already investigating. Another long silence. Thank you for telling us. I know this must be hard for you too. We always liked you, you know. We thought you were good for her. I thought I was too. Thursday, Madison started texting me from a new phone. Please, can we talk? I'm staying at a motel and I'm almost out of money. My clients won't answer my calls. I think someone reported my profiles because everything is getting shut down. The police came by asking questions. I had reported her profiles, all of them, to the platforms, to law enforcement, to the IRS, to the Attorney General's office. Her entire digital empire was crumbling in real time. Please, Nolan, I'm begging you. I'll pay you back everything I swear on my mother's grave. I just need help getting back on my feet. I can't do this alone. I don't know how to live like a normal person. Friday evening, she showed up at my door looking like a completely different person. No makeup, hair a mess, wearing the same clothes from when she left. The designer bag was gone, replaced by a beaten-up backpack. Please, she said through the intercom. Just 5 minutes. I'm desperate. Against my better judgment, I let her up. She looked terrible. Dark circles under her eyes, had clearly been crying for days. Her skin looked different without the expensive skincare routine. Her hair flat without professional styling. The confident, beautiful woman who'd walked out 3 days ago was gone, replaced by someone who looked ordinary and broken. I messed up, she said immediately. I know I messed up. Everything you said was right. I know. My parents won't talk to me. My friends think I'm insane. All my accounts are frozen or deleted. She was crying again. The IRS seized my bank accounts. I have nowhere to go. Still not my problem. The IRS wants to audit me going back 3 years. I got a letter about criminal tax evasion. I don't understand any of this legal stuff. I've never dealt with anything like this. Should have thought about that before you decided to be a criminal. Please, Nolan. I know I don't deserve help, but I'm desperate. I'll sign over my car to you. I'll give you all the jewelry you bought me. I'll do whatever you want. What I want is for you to leave me alone. I can't survive this by myself. I don't know how to do anything real. I don't have job skills or references or any way to explain the gap in my employment history. She broke down completely, sobbing on my floor like a child. Help me, she whispered. Please help me figure out how to fix this. I'll be your servant. I'll clean your house. I'll do anything. Looking at Madison crying on my floor, I felt nothing. No sympathy, no urge to help, no leftover love, just satisfaction that she was finally experiencing consequences for her actions. You want help? I asked. She looked up hopefully. Yes, please. I'll do anything. Here's your help. Get a job. A real job. Restaurant server, retail worker, call center rep, cleaning lady, whatever. We'll hire someone with no experience and no references. But work 40 hours a week like a normal person. Pay taxes on every penny you earn. Pay rent with your own money. Buy your own food and clothes and gas. I don't know how to learn. Figure it out like everyone else does. What about the IRS, the legal stuff? I could go to prison. Get a lawyer. A public defender if you can't afford one. Face the consequences of your choices. She wiped her nose. Will you help me find a job or a lawyer? I don't know where to start with any of this. But I don't understand how any of this works. I don't know how to write a resume or interview for real jobs, or that's not my problem anymore, Madison. You spent 2 years lying to me, stealing from me, cheating on me, and running illegal businesses behind my back. You made your choices. Now deal with the results. I was just trying to have a good life. By being a criminal, by exploiting men and lying to your family and living off other people like a parasite. I never meant for it to go this far. But it did. And now you get to learn what real life is like for people who don't have sugar daddies and scam victims paying their way. She sat there crying for a few more minutes. I didn't say anything, just watched her process the reality of her situation. Finally, she stood up. So that's it. You're just going to let me fail? You already failed. I'm just not stopping you from facing it anymore. What if I can't handle it? What if I end up homeless or worse? Then maybe you'll understand what you put other people through. The men you scammed, the family you lied to, the boyfriend you betrayed for 2 years. She walked to the door, then turned back one last time. I really did love you, you know. No, you didn't. You loved what I could do for you. You loved my apartment and my car and my credit card. You loved having someone to pay your bills while you played pretend businesswoman and sold yourself to strangers. Maybe someday you'll forgive me. Maybe. But I'll never trust you again, and I'll never help you again. You're on your own now. She left,